Hello! Thanks for joining us for Into Gardening today. We're at the Bribie Island Butterfly House, and come with me and I'll just show you a couple of things. Check these babies out. This is the most beautiful place in the world.
Hi everybody, welcome to Bribie Island Butterfly House. Come and join us for a virtual tour today, so follow me.
Hi, welcome to the Butterfly House. So inside the Butterfly House we mostly grow nectar plants, so the butterflies can drink the nectar. That's what adult butterflies drink and eat. This is our host plant, so each species of butterfly can lay on a specific plant. So they won't just lay on any plant or eat lettuce or, like the hungry caterpillar, book ice cream or anything like that. So we have a host table here where we put the host plant. So you can see this plant here, the joyweed. So the girls are really busy laying eggs on here. If you look closely, there's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of eggs on here. These little aqua, beautiful coloured aqua. So she's laying here. So they'll lay all their eggs. Butterflies will lay a couple of hundred eggs in their lifetime. Then the eggs will hatch. But we'll collect these eggs, take them into our breeding laboratory, which we'll show you shortly. And they'll hatch out in there. And that's where they get looked after all the way through to being an adult butterfly, where we release them back into the butterfly house. So that's joyweed. So that's our varied egg fly. So this is the female with the orange. You'll see some of the boys around, they've got a blue colour. So that's a male and that's the female. So the boys have the blue. There's all different species for the different types of butterflies that we have in the butterfly house. You can see there's lots of different shapes and colours of eggs. So these are a more orange colour and a lot rounder. There's like different little white eggs. You see on the milkweed here. Not so many eggs on that one. It must have been just put on today. Yeah, so otherwise we just grow nectar plants inside the butterfly house. The caterpillars would hatch out and we would have a whole butterfly house full of caterpillars and they would eat us out of house and home. butterflies love. They love really bright coloured nectar plants, flowers. So this is a pentas. So there's different coloured pentas, but they really love the red and the pink pentas. So the butterflies will land on there, and they have a straw-like structure called a proboscis, which is like a tongue that they furl up while they fly around, and then when they want to feed, they'll unfurl that and drink like a straw from the flowers. So we have some other friends in the butterfly house. These are spiny stick insects. So this is a female. This is probably about as big as they grow. She cannot fly. She has tiny little wings there. But as you can see, they are big. They are big girls. The males are a lot smaller. You'll see on this branch over here, there's actually 3 males trying to mate with this lady over here. So they're a lot smaller, but they can actually fly. They have actually quite large wings. So this is Stick Insect Island. We've dedicated this area to our long-term volunteer Fred. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, but this was his little corner where he would hang out and tell stories, so we dedicated it to Fred's Stick Insect Island. So you'll see the male is a lot smaller, but he has very large wings and he can fly very well. But they usually stick to this little area here, because that's the plant that they eat. Native wild mulberry and guava. There's a few eucalyptus species that they eat. So they're quite happy there. The kids love, well, everyone loves to come wandering through, and then they have an extra good look, and you'll see there's actually probably 20 to 30 insects in here hiding away. They have very good camouflage. Special license to breed a species called the Cairns Birdwing, so from North Queensland, the Cairns area. You'll see this is the male. He's a lot smaller and he has a beautiful aqua green colour when he opens his wings. This is the female up here. So she's the largest butterfly in Australia. So they grow even bigger than that, sometimes up to 15 centimetres wingspan. You can see why they're called a birdwing, because often when they are active, they'll be flying around and you have to look twice to think there's a bird close to you. They're a little inactive today because it's not so sunny. So butterflies are cold-blooded, so that's why they'll sun themselves. They're quite active because it is warm and humid today, but when the sun is out, they will be a lot more active. So the wings have tiny little scales on them which act like little solar panels. So they'll sun themselves and absorb the heat from the sun, which gives them energy. So at the Butterfly House, we are all volunteers. So we've been operating for almost 7 years now. Everything you see has been built by local people who have all volunteered their time, their money, their skills. We are still operating with all volunteers. We have recently just employed our first employee as a overall manager to oversee the whole project to help run everything smoothly. you'll see there's amazing cool art pieces like all through the butterfly house that local artists have made for us. This is the Circle of Friends, which is the base of our whole project, is bringing people together to make friends, give a sense of purpose in the community, giving back to the community. We donate 100% of our profits to charities. So that's local charities. We help with school education, providing needy people with things like books, school books, computers, extra help like that, support in the school with our school chappie program, the neighbourhood centre, some global care, which provides cheap and free food for people in need. We also donate regionally to a lot of people helping with domestic violence, stuff like that, and also overseas to the poorest of the poor people, where we help in villages have fresh drinking water, stuff like that. We help provide toilets, education, schools, all sorts of great things. So every donation and every ticket that we sell, a part of that will be helping the greater community.
This is Rosie. She's our very dedicated, hard-working volunteer. She's here 24/7 working in the garden. So one of our volunteers actually made that. She does a lot of crafty work, and she's been here for a few months now. And every time I walk past, I have to stop and look and think, oh, hang on, it's not one of our real volunteers, but you know, she's part of the family now, and it always has visitors guessing. Very realistic. It's cheap.
Another table where we have some host plants. So this is the plant for the Cairns Birdwing. So these girls are laying as we speak, but if you look under here, they're quite large eggs. And these guys are very clever. They have a very magical special glue that they glue and attach the eggs to the leaves. And you'll see up here we've obviously missed some eggs because there's some little baby caterpillars cruising around. So we'll have to catch them and put them inside in our breeding laboratory. There's quite a few there actually. So as we mentioned, all the plants that we grow inside the butterfly house are nectar plants, which provides all the food for our butterflies. But sometimes they do need a little top up. So we have these little feeding stations. We've called it a refueling depot for a bit of fun. A little girl came up with the idea of our butterfly cafe the other day, which is pretty cool. So we just have some little sections here so the butterflies can land there safely without getting stuck in the liquid. Then we make up some yummy butterfly juice inside the lab. So this has got special nutrient supplements for the butterflies, which and vitamins, sugars, stuff like that. which keeps them filled up and healthy. So you can do this at home if you want to attract more butterflies to your garden. If at home, all you need to do is plant lots of nectar plants to attract the adults. If you wanted to breed butterflies at home, just do some research about the host plants that you would like to attract some native butterflies to your area. We have heaps of, especially citrus. The orchard swallowtails love the citrus. These guys obviously love joyweed to lay their eggs on, but the caterpillars love eating sweet potato vine, which is quite easy to grow. So at home, if you just provide some water, very sunny areas, but also shady areas where they can rest. Even if you have some sandy areas, butterflies will also, when they need some extra salts and minerals, they will actually pool on dirt and sandy areas and drink and get some extra salts and nutrients out of the sand and soil.
They're the eggs of the orchard swallowtail, and that's you can see some of the little white ones. They're the ones that have already hatched, and the darker ones are the ones that have got to hatch out yet. And I think they take anything up to a couple of weeks, I think, or anything. These are orchard swallowtail babies. They're just hatched on the weekend, and I'm putting them on lime leaf, I think. It's lime leaf. And they eat citrus. So they will get on there and then they'll grow quite a lot bigger. But they do have to have new food every day. They're ravenous when they get going. And then there's quite a lot. We've had a big influx since the wet weather.
Why are you using the brush?
Because they're very, very delicate. Yeah, it's best to do the brush. That way you don't harm them. Get a bit heavy-handed, and we just put that on, and then we've another one here I've just done. They've just been put in. There we go. And they're a large, that's how big, that's about half grown size in the orchard. And then,
So these were hatched over the weekend?
Yes, they would have been hatched on the 6th to the 7th.
So they're about two days old.
And these were hatched on the, where's the lid?
Approximately.
These were hatched on the, no. Now that was hatched on the 3rd of the 1st. That couldn't be. No, that must be. Yeah, but you got that one off there, didn't you?
And these ones,
So these are the orchard swallowtails. Now these ones were hatched on the 27th of December. So that's a few weeks now. It's about, 3 weeks?
yes sir, hang on, I'll just line that up a bit. Actually, they did. So a wonderful part about visiting a butterfly house like this is you can see the entire life cycle in real life. So as you've seen, we collect the eggs from the butterfly house, put them in the petri dishes until the little babies hatch out. So when they hatch out, their first meal is actually their eggshell. So that gives them a little bit of extra protein to get going. Then as they grow at a rapid rate, as you've seen the different stages of the caterpillars. So throughout the caterpillar stage, they'll shed their skin because they just all day, all they do is eat and eat and eat, poo and poo and poo. So that's a big job here, is cleaning out all the cages of the frass, which is the technical term for caterpillar poo. So they'll shed their skin a few times through the caterpillar stage. Then as usually between around about 5 weeks, they're depending on the weather and their food source, then they will actually attach their cremaster to a leaf or a twig. There's a little tip here. They'll shed their skin for the last time. And as you can see, this guy here, he's almost ready to change into a chrysalis. So that's a big difference between butterflies and moth caterpillars. A moth caterpillar will make a silk and wrap a cocoon around itself, whereas a butterfly caterpillar will actually shed its last skin and the chrysalis is underneath that. So it's an amazing process. If you Google, you can see a lot of slow motion plays on that process. You can actually see it here. We don't have anything happening at the moment, but you'll see they'll sit there like this for a while, can be days. Then depending on the barometric pressure, all different types of environmental processes, they will shed that last skin and turn into a chrysalis. So once they have turned into a chrysalis, they're all different shapes and sizes. This is that same orchard swallowtail that we've been looking at, I believe. So they can be green or brown. These guys are obviously green. They'll attach to the stick, and they even make themselves a little silk thread to help support their weight. We actually glue them onto toothpicks so we can put them into boxes as they wait to emerge as a butterfly. So they can, once again, depending on the environmental factors, they can stay like that for a few weeks, months, or even up to a year, depending on the weather. So that's why you'll see a lot of butterflies in spring and summer. They need that hot, humid weather. So if it's a really hot, humid day, you'll see often thousands of butterflies hatching out. They are all different shapes and sizes. This is a chrysalis of the Monarch butterfly, the beautiful orange and black butterfly. We have some more chrysalises over that way. So this is the caterpillar and monarch butterflies. They're actually native to Northern America, but they've somehow ventured to Australia. They thrive here. They have cousins, which is similar, but like blue tigers in Australia. So these guys migrate thousands of kilometres. So you might have seen on National Geographic or shows like that, documentaries. They can live up to 8 months, these guys. So butterflies will often live only 2 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. They can live a few months. And some of these guys can actually live up to 8 months, because in North America, when it gets really cold, they fly down to Mexico over a few generations. They aggregate in millions and millions of butterflies. Some person was lucky enough to be venturing through the mountains and come across trees full of butterflies, literally millions of these guys. So the caterpillars are really cute, stripy little guys. You can see this one here is almost ready to change into a chrysalis. And if you look up top, there's heaps of chrysalises. They're a beautiful green colour and they have special gold dots on them. So some of these guys actually escape from the cages, and they might even make a little chrysalis in little surprise places. And there's one up near the window there. So we have to always be keeping our eyes out open.
These are the baby versions of them, of the same caterpillar.
So cute.
1st of January.
The caterpillars of the Cairns Birdwing. So as we mentioned, the females are the largest butterfly in Australia. The caterpillars are definitely large as well. You can see some babies in there. And then over here we have some of the larger caterpillars that are almost ready to change into a chrysalis. So they look very harsh and spiky, which is a great mechanism for living in the environment, so to prevent them from being eaten by birds and stuff, but they're actually soft as silk. They're very beautiful caterpillars. When they change into a chrysalis, it's quite a beautiful large chrysalis as well, and we've glued them to toothpicks here, but in nature that would be under a leaf or on a branch of a tree, wherever they can find a nice safe spot until they change into a beautiful butterfly.
So these are orchard swallowtails. And this is one of the plants you brought in from outside. And you're placing them on the leaf or you're taking them off?
We're taking them off.
So each day the volunteers will go out and check the plants for not only eggs, but sometimes when the caterpillars actually hatch, like they have on this one, they'll bring it in here because you can see there's lots of them on there, and they'll take them off the plant and put them into the petri dishes and then give them some food to keep them going, and they'll stay in the lab until they grow and go into chrysalis. How many do you think you take off in a day?
Just depends. I've got over 20 here. You'd have the same.
And I've already taken some over there.
And I leave all these for baby ones here till they get a little bit bigger.
Probably 40 or 50 today. Yeah, wow.
So part of the life cycle is when the butterflies do emerge from their chrysalis, you see this beautiful girl in here has recently emerged. So her wings are actually really wet when they come out. So their wings aren't folded up inside the chrysalis. The wings are actually a bit like a deflated balloon. So when the butterfly emerges out of the chrysalis, it pumps the fluid out of its body into its wings, which is like a butterfly blood. So it literally pumps its wings up with the fluid, and then the wings need to dry. So if you ever see a butterfly emerging in nature, be sure not to touch them. That's why we need lots of space for them to emerge, so they can spend a few hours drying their wings. That way their wings are nice and strong and structural to be flying around. So this is one of the best parts of the job, is when we get to go and release the butterflies outside. So here we have Monarch, orange and black, a blue triangle, and a small grass yellow, I believe it is. There's a few little yellow ones that look very similar. And then we'll go release them into the butterfly house. So a big part of the butterfly breeding process is growing the host plants, which we do here, providing the food, cleaning the cages every day. We have to have a very sterile environment here. So everyone's trained who works in the laboratory. You have to sanitize your feet and your hands when you come inside. It's humidity and temperature controlled, so we keep it a constant humidity and temperature inside. The volunteers are all trained. Everything has to be clean and sanitised.
Potato?
Yep. So this is our cleaning area. So we have a dirty section and a clean section. Everything has to be sanitised. We mostly use chlorine, but we do try to avoid too many nasty chemicals. Then we have to dry everything until it is processed back through the breeding laboratory. So this is a part of our nursery. So we do grow plants, if you'd like to come in, for people to purchase and take home so we can attract more butterflies in our natural environment. So butterflies are a very important part of the ecosystem and pollination, with our bees and bats and different species that help pollinate. So we like to encourage people to plant these at home. You can purchase them. They're not very expensive at Butterfly House, or do your own research, or talk to your local nursery to get particular host plants and nectar plants growing in your gardens. So as we've talked about, the big part of the process here is growing the host plants and the food plants for our caterpillars and butterflies. This is our nursery section. It's currently under renovation. We are developing some hydroponic systems to grow a lot more food here and structure. So when you come back next time, hopefully you can see the finished product. Yep. Yeah. So this is, like we mentioned, one of the best parts of the job is getting these guys all the way through their life cycle from little baby caterpillars into adult butterflies. So these guys have dried their wings. You can see they're a very beautiful, vibrant colour when they're fresh like this. But we're also happy to have our elders in the community here because we know they've lived a good life when they've got frayed wings. So you can see the different colours. The Monarch, so the males and females are usually a different colour. The Monarchs are the same colour, but if you can look closely, there's a little black dot on the hind wings to indicate if it's a male species. He sets off his little perfumes from those little glands. We can't see them at the moment, but that's how you can tell the male and the female. To attract the females, he'll let off his perfume. So we have Cairns Birdwing, blue triangle, small grass yellow, I think it is. So in their own time, they'll come out and fly free. We have a strict no touching policy inside the butterfly house to keep them nice and safe, because you can imagine all the kids and the joy of seeing these butterflies, and they like to grab them. So that's a part of our job in here, is being security.
That's the female?
Yeah, so this is a female Cairns Birdwing.
So it looks different when, while it's expanding its wings.
Yeah, hers might not have formed 100% correctly there, which can happen. But yeah, so we have a strict no touching policy inside the butterfly house, but as you can see, like Harry's shoulder right there, they will land on you. There's one on the camera right now as we speak.
They're touching me.
So we encourage visitors to wear bright clothing or different perfumes, and you'll have lots of butterflies land on you when you visit, which it's always, never gets old watching the joy in people's faces when the butterflies land on you. This guy's really cute little blue triangle.
And he's gone.
They're quite happy, taking their time. So as I mentioned, we are all volunteers here at the Bribie Butterfly House, but it would all come from a dream from this gentleman, Ray Archer, and his beautiful wife, Delphine. These guys have been busy growing a lot of butterfly plants throughout their career. They had an olive tree farm, and they have a vast knowledge in butterflies and growing plants. So they're our founders, Ray and Delphine, so we can thank them for this whole project being what it is now. They've recently retired from this project, and they're actually building another little butterfly house on their farm. They are non-stop elderly people with more energy than most 20-year-olds, I'll tell you right now. So we also have lists of all of our charity donations. You can see this on our website in greater detail. We have a roll of honour for all the wonderful people who have sponsored us and volunteered through their time. This list would be a lot bigger by now. This was made a few years ago. So we can thank all our volunteers and our wonderful founders, Ray and Delphine Archer.
Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed your virtual visit to the Butterfly House. You're more than welcome to come and visit us in person. We're open Wednesdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we'd love to show you through here in person. You can find us online, www.bribieislandbutterflyhouse.org, or find us on Facebook as well. So hope to see you soon.
you.